In the next few months, store shelves might look emptier than we've ever seen. Major droughts are crippling crops right now. Global disruptions are already happening. Probable resolve after resolve is not working. And you guys know food prices are already climbing. You need to know what's coming, how to prepare, starting today. Welcome back, guys. Thanks for starting this off with a like. If you guys appreciate awareness and where I do the digging so you guys don't got to. I think seriously, if you guys are a praying people, we need to pray for our farmers right now. They are seriously facing some of the worst conditions that I've ever seen. I'm talking, we're in a day of age where we don't know what we're eating anymore. The ingredients are absolutely ridiculous. If you watch this channel, we've deep dove what exactly you're eating, and it's all lab made. It's all synthetic alternatives. Most of it is banned in several other countries because of carcinogenic concerns. And as a society, especially in America, we feel like we've got probably the greatest country in the world. But we've gotten to a place where huge corporations have gotten so big, profit over people, and power and greed. And you know what? When they don't want to buy it from the farmers anymore, they find a way that they can make a cheap synthetic in a lab and then mass produce it. That's what I call profit over people. Our health concerns are no longer a factor. As long as it tastes good, maybe they'll enhance the taste. Maybe they'll make it even more addictive. We think that it's safe because it's on public shelves. Today's society, especially in America, is moving away from farms, away from farmers, away from fields. They're trying to make it out of thin air. They're literally cutting the farmer out of the equation. They do not want to spend the extra money on something organic. So you see all of these heavy mandates, all these hoops that they've got to jump through, and the farmers, they can't hold up to that. But here's the reality of what's happening right now. Tons of farmers are getting out there, getting prepared to start their fields. And here's something that you probably haven't heard about that's happening right now. As we have farmers going out, firing up the tractors, getting ready to do spring planting, have you heard anything about 60% of the lower 48 already dealing with a monster drought? Seriously, the South is done. It is a baked, overcooked, burnt crisp. It's bad. All the crops down south, not doing good. It's toast. And then you go over to the plains where wheat land, right? How are they gonna plant in dust fields? Here in the Northwest at the homestead, it looks beautiful. It's green, everything's gorgeous. But what you don't see is the mountains. No snow, it's warm. Go further up the basin, no high elevation snow. The river is running, from what I remember, from years, a couple 3 feet lower than what I would normally expect right now. They're calling for a very dry, high fire, hazardous year. I mean, even here in Washington State, Yakima Valley, Idaho, they're already talking about water cutbacks. And that's here in the Northwest. Can you imagine California, Oregon, and then you move over towards the east and they're already dealing with drought. So it is not looking good. The cattle numbers are already at its lowest since like the 50s. And a lot of these big ranches, they grow their own supplemental feed. A lot of them do. What happens when it's so dry that you can't even grow anything? They're already talking about water cutbacks in April. You guys have already heard fertilizer prices since COVID skyrocketed. Now we've got diesel going through the roof. I'm sure you've seen it all over the news. We had a deal on the Hormuz Strait. Then Iran started having its way with some more cargo ships. So now we're back at a dead halt. This doesn't only affect everything on the shelves in regards to inflation on everything, but heavily food. And then when farmers and everything else is hit from all sides in like 6 different directions, these are the indicators that the economists come out and start saying we are going to have empty shelves. So high probability, it's happening and happening fast. I mean, it's math. It's simple math. Supply chain disruptions, fuel costs going through the roof, diesel costs going through the roof, massive droughts, and water restrictions already being talked about. Crops won't grow. What information do I have for you to weather the storm a little better than others? Well, in fact, Glenn Beck, another guy in YouTube space of awareness, said something that I'm also hearing a lot of.
So I ask, is what we do in our community, we have faced droughts up here in this small little farming community, and every church from the pulpit is saying, fast and pray for rain.
A lot of people talking about fasting and praying for rain. This will at least help out the farmers. They are the backbone of everything. Like I said, we've got stuff going, just flooding our stores nowadays. You don't know where it comes from. You sure in the heck don't know that the ingredients aren't actually real. There's tons of awareness on that. We've got lots of videos on it. Like, remember the whole toilet paper thing? Can you imagine if that was like food and essentials? So my recommendation is being prepared. You don't have to be, the old school doomsday prepper necessarily, but being prepared for an emergency is smart. The more self-sufficient you can be is smart. Having shelf-stable food, having some source of water. If you're capable right now, grow a garden. I know a lot of you guys are in city limits, like you guys can do microgreens indoors. For the people that haven't seen some of my earlier videos, I used to push Thrive Life right there. Freeze-dried food that is shelf-stable for like 25 years. I got buckets and packages left and right. Hope that I never have to use it, but if the crap hits the fan, I'm gonna have it. Get good companies like that. A lot of times this day in society, guess what happens? They sell out to the big conglomerates. And that's exactly what happened with Thrive Life. Left a lot of people hanging. Thankfully, found a replacement. So far sounds like a great, honorable company. Simple, clean, organic ingredients. They've got the number 10 cans. They've got the small cans. They've even got bottled water that lasts for over 20 years. You don't have to worry about it going bad like when you buy a whole bunch of plastic water bottles. So if you're looking for a sound stash of good potable water, they've even got that covered. And in fact, I think that's on sale this month. I'll leave links down in the description for a whole bunch of stuff you guys can look into. It's all stuff that I personally use and endorse. Another thing that we need to do together is stop supporting the system. Stop supporting it. The more you shop at Walmart, the more you shop at Amazon, the more you're reliant on giving them your money, the more control they have, the more small companies they buy up, and the closer and closer we get to having a huge monopoly. Watch, Amazon's gonna be one of them. Pretty soon, they're gonna control so much, and guess what comes with that after they got a lot of control? Price gouging, shrinkflation. It's already happened. It's just getting worse and worse day by day. So I personally don't fund those guys. I don't fund them. I don't support them. If they don't get my money, that's a step in the right direction. They thrive off of our money, not their money. It takes us paying them. So with all of my essentials, including some food, I shop from a wellness store that's American-made, non-toxic, and it's a family-owned business. It's the best stuff out there that I've found. So switching to a store like that, doesn't have to be that one, but when you find mom and pop shops and family-owned businesses, support those. The one we use happens to have nearly 500 things, and it's all stuff that we use on a regular basis. So I've got a link for that store as well down in the description in case you need a spot. I'm not trying to twist anyone's arm on any kind of thing. I'm just giving you guys options if you don't have them. And they're good options because I've done my research and I've used them all for a long period of time to know that they are the real deal. So there's that type of preparations, that type of preparedness. The other thing, back to the garden thing, maybe you don't have a space for a garden. This is where communities need to come back together. Back in the day, there was bartering. Somebody had a heap of cucumbers while another person had a heap of tomatoes, and they swapped them out. Someone was the egg person. The country needs to come back to that. And I've seen in different places, community gardens where small communities will come together. Maybe one guy's got a half an acre, and you take turns. You go and take your turn, and it's actually therapeutic. Get to know your neighbors that are like-minded and want to eat healthy and want to do good and support each other. I think that there should be a movement with that type of thing. Community gardens, especially for the people that maybe don't even know what they're doing. I mean, we've got a lot of YouTube videos for that, but for people that they just need a community. And it's a great thing to have a community wrapped around. And then on top of that, and I've done videos in the past, I've got tons of how-to videos back when I first started. And then you learn how to store what you grew. And this is what they did back in the old days, is they would grow a heap of stuff, and there was a preservation process where it would last them all the way through winter until next growing season. You can actually buy a freeze dryer. I've got a link down below for one of those. I use it all the time, absolutely love it, because I can make things the way that I want to make them with my ingredients, and I can make a stew, I can make smoked salmon, I can do, whatever, and I can make it with what I want in it, and I can preserve it for 25 years. There's dehydrating. There's canning. I've done videos on all of that. Those are skill sets that I think people are I hope that it's not the case, but a lot of fingers are pointing in the direction that we might have to come back to that day where a lot of this preservation and self-sufficiency comes back to play because of where everything's going. And I'm the type of guy that's like, I'd rather be prepared, hope to never have to use my preparations, but if it does happen, I'm ready. How many of you out there think that this is just about fertilizer prices? This is just about gas and diesel prices. This is just about, ripping everything from the farmers and ruining our farming industry. How many of you guys think this is more of a spiritual thing? How many of you think that this is like more of a government takeover type thing? How many of you guys think that it's gonna get better? Or how many of you think it's definitely gonna get worse? Put it in the comments. Let us know your theory. So in summary, be prepared. Start thinking about it. That's where it starts. If you pray for the farmers, pray for rain. Come back to a community, loving your neighbor type of perspective. Support each other. Everything's moving in the direction of rut driven. You're in a rut, you go to work your hours, you come home, you're exhausted, you're probably broke, you're in debt, you can't pay your bills because of inflation and everything else that's going on, and you just want to sit on the couch, watch some series, and unplug and forget about life. Pretty sure that's where they want us. Unhealthy and unplugged. Like Glenn Beck says, love your neighbor, create communities. He had a good message and I wanted to make sure that I got it out to you guys as well. Remember, lots of fingers pointing all in the direction that this is probably going to get worse before it gets better. If it ever gets better, which it probably won't. So take action today. As always, I got a lot more important stuff coming down the pipe. If you guys want to stay up to date, make sure you're subscribed. Keep prepping, keep learning, keep doing. We'll see you guys on the next one.